Welcome back. This segment of our program brought to you by Safety Systems. Every year, folks get a little bit more into the future with their home automation. It's really amazing. You basically run your whole house from your cell phone or your tablet. You know who can set that up for you, who can make your life easy like that? Safety Systems. Not only do they have the best security systems around, not only do they have the best audio video systems they can put into your home theater systems, but they're spectacular in terms of home automation. Call VFL JJ Surlis this week and talk to him about what Safety Systems can do to move your home into the techno future. It's pretty impressive what they do. All right. With all the talk of the incredible tempo UT is now using, I did a little hunting for comments about Heupel's offense, which is basically Art Briles' old Baylor offense. Wally Burnham, who's now a defensive assistant at Arkansas, went against Briles' offense when he was at Baylor. Burnham was at Iowa State. Here's what he had to say about the Briles system. I always felt like we had to have an automatic call on defense when they use tempo. It limits what you can do on defense. You cannot change personnel. You can't get fresh defensive linemen in the game. You can't change coverages very well because you may have a defensive back on the wrong side of the field for a particular call, but the offense is already getting ready to run another play. So it does limit what you can do on defense from front to back. If they don't substitute, you can't substitute, and that hurts the defense. It gets them tired and frustrated. There is a difference in going fast and going fast, or warp speed, and that's what Briles did, and that's what Heupel does. Okay, that sounds good. Then, another quote, Terry Mohair, who replaced Danny White. He's the one that went from Arkansas State to UCF as their AD down there. When he met with the UCF team about who would be the replacement for Josh Heupel, he asked what kind of coach they were looking for. At Gus Malzahn's press conference, he said that they told him, we want a coach who plays complementary football. Okay, so the positive and the negative. Here's my question for you. Are you more excited to see what Heupel's offense can do to opposing defenses, or are you more worried about what Heupel's offense will do to Tennessee's own defense? Where are you on that? Because you can look at it either way, and there's some real points to make on either side. I'll start with Chuck. It's a tough question, so where are you?
Well, I'll tell you what, isn't it a mixed bag? I mean,
that's not good enough. You can't Cavaliers the question. One of them.
Can Cavaliers the question? Well, I know there's going to be worry, and I think it's a given this defense is going to struggle. So the impact it's going to have, this staff is about offense, is about scoring points. After watching Tennessee struggle so much offensively the past 3 years, I'm more excited about what the offense is going to bring to the plate. And I think that's the way you're going to have to look at it until you can get some better players on defense. Because you can worry about it all you want.
And let me ask this more than just year one. I mean, let's look at this big picture. Because I think year one's going to be, he's handed a horrible situation here. So let's take a look at the first 3 or 4 years. Let's imagine he gets 4 years. At Tennessee, you never know. So I would feel a little more hopeful. And my reason for that, I'd be more hopeful about what it can do to opposing defense. Well, hold on. I don't want to jump the gun. Where are you? Are you more excited about what it can do to opposing defenses as a former defender? Or are you more worried about what it will do to Tennessee's own defense?
I'm more worried about what it would do to Tennessee's own defense. I mean, eventually you've got to be able to stop somebody, and I think, especially as you go over a course of a season, if you're talking about wanting to get back and play championships, that means this defense is going to have to be deep, because by the time you get to a 10th and 11th game, and they've been on the field how much, guys are going to be worn down. You're always going to be struggling at the end of the year to probably find a defense, enough guys at enough level to be able to play, down the road here when you need to play championship football. So I think it can be a tough challenge.
This system means you're going to be playing more snaps.
Yep.
More snaps means
you're going to get more guys hurt.
More guys hurt.
Yep.
That's going to be a part of it. Vince, are you more excited for what it can do to opposing defenses or more worried about what it can do to Tennessee's own defense?
Well, I'll break the tie. It's obviously a concern both ways. There's no doubt about it. But I would go with more excited about the offense, and here's why.
Attaboy, Vince.
I think Chuck kind of touched on it a little bit, is I think the defense would struggle, and they did last year, even when they were really slow, regardless of what the offense would do. So I think they are who they are regardless. And so the offense is going to be so much different. And they're going to adapt to today's college football. And that's point number 2, is at least they can be competitive from that standpoint and doing what a lot of other people can do. And maybe, who knows, eventually when they get their kind of players in here in recruiting, do it as good, if not better, than some others. So I think there's more upside and improvement there. So I would say more excited about the offense.
So if we're talking about this next year, right?
Right.
Then, yeah, I mean, I go more excited about the offense just because you have a
You'll
deep
have
snapper. You have the long snapper. He's playing linebacker right now
Right.
for you. This defense has no shot. I mean, this defense right now, like we said, ceiling mediocre, right?
Right.
That's the ceiling for the defense. So, yeah, you have to be more excited about the offense because you got to win in the shootout.
Well, and yeah, people always say, well, you're going to have to win games 42-38.
Yeah.
That's true this year. That is not an exaggeration. People usually use that as hyperbole.
Right.
That's not what that is this year. If you're going to win games, you are going to have to win 41-40, 45-42. And people need to realize that ain't just smoke. That's real.
And I'm sitting here thinking about what Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin did against Alabama. And the game they gave them and the fits they gave them. And wasn't Josh Heupel, and he 2-0 against Lane Kiffin? So that's what, to me, that's your best chance. How many times did Tennessee lose by at least 26 points anyway? So,
See, here's the problem. That's not going to get no Vol fan's going to like that.
some ball fans are.
No. Most Vol fans aren't going to like that because you lost. Vol fans could look at what Lane Kiffin did. Wow, he gave Alabama a game. If that were Lane Kiffin doing that at Tennessee, people would be saying lost. You can look at Ole Miss because you don't have any stake in that. And you go, well, he gave him a game. Nobody says that about their own team. How many times have you walked out of a Dallas Cowboys loss and said, we gave him a game?
Well, I'll
It
tell
doesn't
you what,
happen.
they gave him fits, and it went down to the wire. If I'm an Ole Miss fan, I saw a lot of cheering going on in the stands. I think they were happy. I think Tennessee fans would be excited, and they would rather.
In year
I'd rather
one, I
see
think that
if
stuff
Tennessee
runs off
loses
real quick.
52 to 48. That's better than losing 42 to 10.
Wears out real quick. He's going to get 1 year maybe of the grace period. By then, after that, he's going to have to start winning. Here's why I feel better about the offense, though, about what it can do to opposing defenses. Let's talk about Art Briles. Now, he had RG3 there, but he also had Bryce Petty went in and did great. When you look at Bryce Petty, who was committed to Tennessee at one point, I think, when you look at what Baylor did, I didn't hear a lot of Baylor fans complaining that their defense wasn't very good. They were just happy that they had a team that was winning games and playing at that level. Their defense wasn't, it was the same system. Defense was thrown out there to play 5,000 snaps a game, and they got 30 seconds on the sideline for a splash of Gatorade, but they won games with it. And I think that's, to me, that's why I would be more positive about the upside, because the offense seems to work wherever it goes. Defensively, it's not always the end of the world bad. So while it's going to suck this year, I think, you may get to a point where you can still win 9, 10 games with that. I don't think the championship talk,
Yeah, just saying. Just throwing it out.
Yeah, just throwing it
Being
out.
positive.
But anyway, I would be more excited about what this offense can do to opposing defenses than I am worried about what it's going to do to Tennessee's own defense.
Can they recruit to this defense long term to at least get some playmakers that can help them get the turnovers, the game-changing type of plays, the third down stops? You just need a few of them. Even the teams competing in national championships, those teams don't have great statistical defenses. They just make a couple of big plays with some stud players. They don't have that right now, but long term, maybe they could get that.
Yeah. And that comes back to how well can they recruit, which the jury's very much out, and also what's the NCAA do to you?
Right.
I mean, if you're losing a ton of scholarships, then the job becomes even more of an uphill climb.
Good point.
All right, very good. Good points, one and all. Will, thanks for joining us today. We got a basketball segment next, so get out. We'll see you next week. All right, very good. Coming back, we're going to talk about the turnover at Tennessee. Is that something to worry about, or is that just a sign of college basketball these days? Because the revolving door is spinning. We'll show you. Come on back.